Hey guys, this is Jay Kong with Video Game Hour Live, delivering a review of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Released back in 1998, the Marvel vs. Capcom series established itself as one of the flagship games of the crossover fighting genre. Since then, Capcom has subsequently released two sequels of the original, with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 coming out in 2000 and Marvel vs. Capcom 3 coming out in 2011. While I wouldn't consider Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 a sequel per se, I still think that it shouldn't be ignored either. With this notch in the Marvel vs. Capcom series, Ultimate welcomes back the character roster of the original Marvel vs. Capcom 3, as well as some of the gameplay mechanics present in the previous installment. So you can count on seeing familiar faces such as Wolverine, Ryu, and Storm, performing their signature moves on top of flashing snapbacks, high-flying aerial combos, and crushing hyper combos. Also, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 introduces 12 more characters to the game, welcoming back old favorites such as Strider Hiryu from Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and switching the game up with entirely new fighters such as Phoenix Wright. In addition, players who found Galactus a huge nuisance at the end of arcade mode can now play as their ever-so-friendly denizen of the universe. But all news regarding the game aside, let's pick the game apart with the breakdown. Since the story and design is identical to the original version, we can ignore those aspects of the game for the review. With the gameplay, Ultimate is fairly straightforward, with a simple 3-button command system coupled with a launch button and a 2 assist button. The simplified command system, which starkly contrasts with its Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Street Fighter counterparts, allows players who've never played a fighting game to pick up the game quickly. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 also beefs up the roster of the original and allows players to do new things with their game. Ultimate gives players something the previous installment lacked, a much-needed game patch. And if you're fans of the original, you'll remember that the nerf on Sentinel just wasn't enough in terms of fixing the gameplay. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 overhauled the gameplay by altering the stats of the characters and readjusting the damage system of the original. Ultimate also modified the properties of the X Factor by limiting the stat boost and the length of the attack. On top of the rebalanced gameplay of Ultimate, this chapter of the franchise introduces the new Heroes and Heralds mode. Overall, this new mode slightly resembles a guild war on an MMORPG, as players choose to join either the Heroes faction or the Heralds faction and duke it out with members of the opposing team. The Heroes and the Heralds mode also boasts an online and offline mode, which, in the offline mode, you can earn cards and upgrades to boost your stats, which you can integrate into your game when you take it online. The upgrades and stat boosts ultimately distinguish the Heroes and Heralds mode from the online mode by adding a new dimension in the game, whether you choose to fight with enhanced stats or choose to hobble your opponent with lockdown attacks. But what if you're a beginner? Nothing to fear. Like the original, Ultimate hosts a training mode where you can iron out the kinks in your game, from the fundamentals to basic attacks and combo execution. Having trouble learning the movesets of the characters? Ultimate also includes Mission Mode, which reintroduces players to the basic combos and move cancels, as well as hyper combo setups for every character. Mission Mode is definitely worth your time whether you're learning a character or hammering out the flaws in your execution. While Ultimate contains a much-needed balance patch and a slew of new characters, I still don't see a reason why those changes couldn't have come out as DLC. In addition, the simple gameplay of the Heroes and Heralds mode felt somewhat contrived, and at times it made me feel as if Capcom developed the mode just as incentive to buy the new game. And while Capcom did a great job in including challenge trials for the new characters, sometimes I feel that 10 trials just isn't enough when it comes to learning a new character. Although you require fundamental understanding on how to control a character, you don't learn how to play the character in a typical matchup, nor do you learn how to pair a character with another when you're assembling a team. When it comes down to presentation, this game maintains a 3D model rendering on a 2-dimensional plane, as well as introduces a new heads-up display which changes the aesthetics of the game. With the characters in the game, Ultimate does an amazing job representing multiple facets of both the Marvel and Capcom sides. But unlike Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which overrepresented the X-Men and Street Fighter franchises, 3 reached into the different worlds of the Marvel mythos, with Dormammu from Doctor Strange, and a few more characters from the Avengers series such as Taskmaster and Thor. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 also brought in characters such as Dante and Trish from Devil May Cry, and Zero from Mega Man X. And like its predecessor, Ultimate does nothing short of expanding the representation with characters such as Phoenix Wright, Virgil, and Doctor Strange. Capcom puts out an amazing effort in representing characters beyond the X-Men and Street Fighter universes. However, the aesthetic changes to the game are just that, simply aesthetic and inconsequential to the overall experience. Ultimately, the replay value depends on whether or not you're willing to dedicate yourself to improving your skills. Like all fighting games, unless you have the people to play with or you wish to improve your game online, there isn't much more to offer beyond arcade. Furthermore, with all the characters unlocked at the beginning, there isn't even much incentive to keep playing the game through the arcade mode in hopes of unlocking new hidden characters. The hope of getting better at the game is the only thing that can bring you back to the arcade stick. So unless you enjoy getting bodied and feeling salty on your path to the top, you better have a good group of friends to play with, or you're going to be playing against the AI over and over again. Now it's time for the final call. Gameplay gets an 8, presentation gets a 9, replay value gets a 7, and for the final call, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 gets an 8.